Hello, hello, hello. Hey everyone. Welcome back to our channel. I'll give us a few seconds to let some people start coming in and then we'll get started. Welcome,
Yeah, hey
welcome.
everybody. I hope y'all have a good day.
Okay. Well, Dulcie, are you ready for me to get started?
Yeah, I think people are gonna like
Slowly
slowly
come
come
in.
in.
Okay, yeah, let's get started. Well, hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today I'm here with the amazing Dulcie K, and we're diving into a crucial topic, colorism. We'll be reacting to Dear Light Skin Mixed Race by Marina featuring Dulcie K and Shades of Resilience. So, before we actually jump into this discussion, let's introduce our channel since we're both streaming live together. So, I'll go ahead and kick things off. My channel is called Shades of Resilience. I also go by Shades of Resilience. I talk about anything that comes to mind. It's a nicheless space from healing discussions on Black women and colorism to strategies for interracial dating for light skinned Black women and debunking stereotypes around their preferences. I touch on self care, leveling up strategies, and spirituality, adding a sprinkle of Jesus for my subscribers. I approach these sensitive issues in a holistic way to unite all shades of Black people. I'm grateful for my subscribers, aka Resilient Soldiers. You guys are my babies. I love you. Thanks for your support. They're making a difference in our communities by being allies. How about let's give it up for Dulcie and let her describe her channel.
Yeah, thank you so much for agreeing to do this live together. And welcome everyone who has subscribed to our channels and those of you who may be new as well. My channel is kind of like a healing space for myself and for my viewers, especially light-skinned Black women. And I like to explore the spiritual psychology behind our experiences with color discrimination and dissect the rhetoric on social media about our experience. So, the goal is to expose the status quo in our community and get some guidance towards real healing and real change using concepts like mindfulness, affirmations, and self compassion, and even journaling. And so I'm just grateful to have a space where I can be a ray of sunlight and other women can too. But yeah, that is my channel.
Nice. And I love Dulcie's channel. Dulcie in Exoticals United actually inspired me to do my channel. So definitely check Dulcie channels out. Resilient Soldiers. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into this video. Dulcie, if you can please go ahead and introduce our subscribers to the clip that we're going to do the reaction video on.
Yep, I am queuing it up now. So just a heads up, gonna give you a trigger warning. Hasn't really had a great day today, or it's feeling a little bit low. You may want to hold off on watching this video, but I'm gonna let this play as soon as it loads. Can you guys see the screen?
Not just yet. Hello, hello, guys. We're just Dulcie's pulling up the video.
Okay, I don't think you guys can see the video. Give me 1 second.
Okay, Dulcie, we can
Mhm.
see the video now. I think you just have to start it over. Welcome, welcome. If you guys are just tuning in, which I see in the comment sections, we're getting ready to play. Dulcie's getting ready to play a video clip on our reaction to Dear Light Skin Mixed Race by the actor Narku Miranda. Okay, guys, looks like we may have had a little bit of technical difficulties where I may have lost Dulcie. Okay, nope, there she is. Okay, so we're just trying to get the clip back up
And
for
I'm
you
back.
guys.
I'm back. For some reason, it kicked me out. I'm coming up soon.
Okay, there we
Okay,
go.
I think you guys can see
I
it
would,
now, right?
yeah, I would.
You know what? Since I'm feeling fire, darker skinned black women has to do any labor. When darker skinned black women are talking about their experiences with colorism and racism, shut up. In this scenario, you are privileged. You're literally doing the same thing that white women do. When we try to talk about intersectional issues, they start crying and they try to center their experiences. It's a simple fact. And you know this because we have no problem with this concept when it comes to talking to white people about this. If you have fewer Afrocentric features and lighter skin in this society, you are privileged. There's certain bullshit you will not go through. But I experienced an identity crisis because I was mixed. I get it, me too. The time and place to talk about your experience, this ain't it. Even with that, if you were bullied for being mixed, okay, still does not fix the systemic problem. Darker skinned black women are overall treated worse. Our individual experiences do not validate the global problem. I'm a lighter skin, more unambiguously black person says, on YouTube, call me not black all the time. Okay, cool. Happens and it's probably going to happen for the rest of my life. Whatever step you are in that journey is not a darker skinned black woman's problem. But I suffer from colorism because I'm mixed or light skinned and I got bullied for that. No, you fucking didn't. Colorism by definition means that you benefit from having lighter skin. Whatever word you're looking for what you went through, it's not colorism. Again, your individual experiences do not invalidate the global problem. So I'm aware that not all mixed race black people are light skinned. Understand this concept when we're explaining it to white people. Sometimes privilege isn't the things that you get. Sometimes it's the bullshit that you never have to go through. Maybe ask yourself why, when a darker skinned black woman is talking, you have a visceral, why is that? You feel the need to defend yourself when darker skinned black women talk about how they are bullied by lighter skinned black women. Did you do it? Did you take part in internal colorism that you need? Embarrassing.
Okay, so Shades of Resilience, do you want to talk about what your initial reaction was to that video? Hey, can y'all put a one in the chat if you were able to hear the video? Like, see the full thing? Can you put a one in the chat if you can hear me? It's choppy. Okay. Shades, are you still there? Mhm. Like, let me see if Shades is still here, if she's like out. But yeah, that was a crazy video. Let's see. Are you guys able to hear Shades of Resilience? Mhm. Okay, you said you only hear me right now. Okay. Yeah, so Shades of Resilience, if you want to, they're saying in the chat that they can only hear me right now, and you're saying that you're speaking, so you might have to like leave and then come back, or I can like remove and add you back on the stage. What do you think about that? You can like type me in the chat. Okay. Um, but while we are waiting, I guess I'll give my initial reaction to that video, which was basically like, first off, you're yelling. Like, why are you yelling? And I find it ironic that this is a mixed woman who's yelling at monoracial Black women. I mean, she's talking to mixed women as well, but she also included monoracial Black women. So I find it ironic that she's yelling at us on behalf of other monoracial Black women. And it's so ironic because we as Black women, we never want to be painted as angry Black women, like yelling and getting angry, but we're okay with the mixed woman using both her light skin privilege and her mixed privilege to exude that level of aggression. Oh, wait a second. I think Shades is back. Shades of Resilience. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you. What about you guys in the chat? Can you hear everyone? Can you hear both of us? And then, what do you think about playing the video again one more time? Because some
Yeah,
people
I
are
was
saying that
wondering if
it
we
was
could.
cutting in and out. Do you want to try
Yeah, I
that
was
again?
wondering if we could retake it. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
retake it for him. Can you guys still hear me now?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. She said,
Yeah, they can hear you.
okay, can you hear both of us? Can you guys hear me and Dulcie? Dulcie, can you say something now?
Yeah, they're saying yes.
Yes, they can hear both of us. Okay. So we're gonna start over the video over again because we were having a bit of some internet connection issues. So Dulcie, if you want to run the clip over and we can just kind of start over.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now. Let me set that up.
Awesome,
Mm.
awesome.
Okay, and then when you guys can see the screen so that
Hmm.
I can play it.
Yeah, it's just loading. It's starting to load. Can you guys still hear both of us? Put a
Okay.
1 in the chat. Okay, the screen's up, Dulcie.
Okay, you can see the screen. Okay, great. I'll press play now.
Fiery today. Let me just say this. Hey, fellow mixed Black women and or light-skinned Black women. In hopes that in doing this video, one less darker-skinned Black woman has to do any labor. When darker-skinned Black women are talking about their experiences with colorism and racism, shut up. In this scenario, you are privileged. You're literally doing the same thing that white women light skin in society. You are privileged. There's certain bullshit you will not go through. But I experienced an identity crisis because I was mixed. I get it, me too. The time and place to talk about your experience treated worse. Our individual experiences do not invalidate the global problem. I'm a lighter skinned, more unambiguously Black person says, I don't think I have privilege. Looking like a whole Mariah Carey. Literally giving when white people say, oh, where's my white privilege? It hasn't helped me. Dark-skinned Black women is talking about their experiences. This is not the time for you to talk about, well, when I was growing up, I didn't fit. They told me I wasn't Black enough. If you're still going through that identity crisis, especially if like you're young, if you're a teenager, I get it. It's a valid thing. Also, your identity crisis is not a problem. It's not to validate your Blackness. You got to figure that out for yourself. I will argue, especially if you're an adult. I'm so sorry, but please sort through that shit, unpack that shit, decide what your relationship with your Blackness is, and then move the fuck on. Well, especially on YouTube, call me not Black all the time. Okay, cool. It's probably gonna happen for the rest of my life. Whatever step is not a darker skinned Black woman's problem. But I suffer from colorism because I'm mixed or light skinned and I got bullied for that. No, you fucking did it. Colorism by definition means that you benefit from having lighter skin. Whatever word you're looking for what you went through, it's not colorism. Again, your individual experiences do not invalidate the global problem. Concept when we're explaining it to white people. Sometimes privilege isn't what you get. Sometimes it's the bullshit that you never have to go through. Maybe ask yourself why, when a darker skinned Black woman is talking, you have a visceral reaction to steer the conversation away from them. Why is that? Why is that? You feel the need to defend yourself when darker skinned Black women talk about how they are bullied by white.
Okay. So the video ended. We are thank you guys for joining in. So I'm just waiting for Dulcie to get back on the live here. All right. So after the video presentation, it kicked Dulcie out. So I'm gonna just wait till she comes back. Oh, okay, great. There she is. All right, Dulcie. Thank you for playing that video. So
Okay, I am back. It seems like everyone was able to hear the video well enough to get the general message.
right.
So, Shades of Resilience, would you like to share with us what your initial reaction was to the video?
Yeah, yeah. Wow. So there was so much to unpack in that video. So I'm going to share my initial reaction with you guys and also give you the key takeaways from the video. That way, if it was kind of choppy for some people, you'll still get the gist of what the video was about. So the key takeaways that I took from this video was that I feel like she was very problematic And the fact that she said that light skinned people, we need to stop the colorism talk. She pretty much told us to shut up and yelled about it. Are you guys able to hear me? Okay, yeah, I think so. All right. So she said that it's a global issue that primarily affects just dark skinned Black people. She stated that light skinned Black folks no need to seek validation from dark skinned Black people. She also advised us to acknowledge our privilege, that we don't have to go through the same type of discriminations and the struggles as dark skinned individuals. Okay, so why do successful light skinned Black women in entertainment have to apologize? If we're going to use that same rhetoric as she said, about dark skinned people not validating our Blackness, we can use that same energy when people claim we're taking their jobs and colorist men that most of us don't want. It's not true that people don't get bullied for being light skinned. In high school, I faced bullying from dark skinned Black women regarding my skin tone and looks every day. This experience made me avoid dating Black men and led me to date mostly white men, and also led me to have low self esteem growing up, among other issues I faced regarding my skin tone at a predominantly Black school. And most of you know more of the details about that in my other videos on my channel. But the bullying was severe, almost leading me to suicide. But a spiritual intervention saved me, which was Jesus Christ. The issue I have is that when she claims dark skin colorism is a global problem and saying that light skinned people should be quiet about their experiences, is that people forget that colorism affects all Black people, not just dark skinned women. I can't stand when people like her who haven't gone through severe colorism issues speak on these topics and try to represent light skinned Black women or monoracial Black women. Alex Walker definition that has since been removed off the internet and changed highlighted the fact that colorism can pretty much be a nuance and impact people of both shades in the spectrum with discrimination. Colorism shows it can impact anyone. Light skinned Black individuals have been silent about their experience for too long. And so that is why people think it's not a global problem for us. We have been silent about it in a massive way with the powers to be. That people who are still in their 60s, who I have met that are light skinned, are still afraid to talk about their issues publicly with colorism. She mentioned that privilege isn't just about material things, it's also about the challenges you don't face. Well, um, I faced discrimination starting at the age of 13. A white man insulted me and my biracial friend at the flea market, calling us cornbread and words. And we were just kids. I have been followed and profiled, dealt with colorism as an adult in the workplace where people reference my skin tone, and I support interracial relationships, and I myself date interracially. But many know on my channel I got discriminated against by a dark skinned Black woman's white boyfriend when I didn't do anything to them. So I say this to say I don't appreciate her telling me, a monoracial light skinned Black person, to shut up about my experiences. I feel like it's very evil and demonic. It's like, deal with your problems silently because your voice doesn't deserve to be heard on a large scale. So yeah, that video was so triggering. It was a lot to unpack. I'm gonna turn it back to Dulce K and get her reaction and take on the video. Dulce, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. And I definitely agree that, no line and doesn't really understand the experience of light skinned Black women. Yeah, are you able
Yeah,
to
I
hear
can
me?
hear you okay now.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I'm able to hear you.
Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason it's like really, really choppy. So
Maybe try. Did you ever place your internet at the higher level, or is it still like in that same place?
yeah, no,
Okay.
it's higher and my connection shows that it's really strong, but as you hear me, no one's really saying that they can't. But what stood out to me is that she's yelling, and I'm just like, why are you yelling? Like, it was so hard for me to even finish that video because of how much yelling and screaming she was doing. And it's ironic, right? Because she's a mixed one, racial Black woman, and I just think that's really funny. Um, and then as Black women, we don't want to be perceived as angry or aggressive, but somehow we're okay with a mixed woman using her light skin privilege and her mixed privilege to show that same aggression that we feel like it's too expensive for us. So yeah, this is extremely divisive rhetoric when she says that we don't experience colorism and we need to stop talking about it, and that darker skinned women have it worse because one, we do experience those things, and two, this is not a competition or an oppression Olympics. You don't get to compare people's suffering and say who had it worse. The global issue of colorism doesn't even have the same dynamic as colorism within the Black community. And if she knows anything about the Black community, she knows that saying that it's similar to global colorism is very disingenuous. And then again, like the yelling, like that's the last thing that anybody needs, especially not Black people. We do not need to open up our social medias and go to our FYP and find someone yelling at us about how what we don't experience, what we don't go through. And yeah, she thinks that privilege is invincible and infallible to racism and colorism. And there's so many cases where it doesn't matter how light skinned you are, you're going to be a target for both Black people and white people. And she says that like it's the stuff that you don't have to go through. But how do you know what we did or didn't have to go through? Because you don't even ask. And then if you do ask and we tell you, you start to gaslight us. Like nobody believed Raven Simone or took her seriously when she was saying that she had to tan for the set of her show. You know, no one really took her seriously. And then for me, you know, when I was in school as a varsity cheerleader, at a predominantly white school, I was the only light skinned Black girl on the team. There were only two other Black girls, but our Black cheer coach made it a point to always show aggression towards me, single me out, and attack me. And now as an adult at work, you know, white managers every now and then they will try to sabotage my work and do all kinds of mean things to me. And you're like all buddy buddy with everyone else, all the other Black coworkers, but somehow I'm the one who's problematic, and it's because I'm light skinned. I know that. But yeah, it's clear that she has a huge misconception of what colorism is and how light skinned Black women face discrimination because of the color of our skin. And honestly, most people do. She's confused as to why we respond to colorism conversations with trying to stand up for ourselves or talk about our experiences. And it's because like we've kept stepping aside, we've been suppressing everything for decades and decades, and now we just can't hold it in anymore. So we feel the need to speak up about the injustices. But yeah, that's my initial reaction. I land my plane.
Yeah, that was some great insights, Dulcie. Really, really good stuff. So, now that both Dulcie and I have reacted to this video, we want to explore this further. So, thanks, Dulcie, for your powerful insight on this. So I kind of want to just do like a little back and forth thing with Dulcie to address this on a deeper level. So, Dulcie, what are your thoughts on the misconception that colorism only affects dark skinned Black people?
Yeah, so I think it's a very unfortunate, but also a very understandable misconception that people have, because colorism was only just coined very recently in 1983 by Alice Walker, and no one really knew what it was or was familiar with that kind of concept. And the way she defined it was just as prejudice between members of the same community based on skin tone. So it wasn't directional like how it is now. And I don't know why it changed, but if you Google colorism as defined by Alice Walker, you'll see that it is not directional. And then, ironically, in that same decade, in 1989, there was a light skinned Black woman by the name of Tracy Walker who took the IRS to court because she felt that her dark skinned Black female um, supervisors were discriminating against her based on her skin tone. And even though she lost her case, that case is a landmark because the judge made it clear that people in the same race can experience discrimination based on skin tone. So basically, people within the same race can discriminate against each other based on skin tone, and so they are protected from color discrimination. Again, it was not directional. But because it was such a taboo topic during that time, that wasn't really put on the forefront of Black history, and it is an advancement in our civil rights. Instead, it was swept under the rug, and I think we just had a culture of us, particularly light-skinned Black women, not speaking up, not being uplifted by the community, and then also another reason why I feel like it's misunderstood and people think it only affects dark-skinned Black people is because, again, it's not the same as global colorism. If you think of a Hispanic person, and I'm speaking from an American perspective, if you think of a Hispanic person, you're most likely not going to think of a darker skinned Hispanic person. If you think of an Asian person, you're most likely not going to think of or visualize a darker skinned Asian person, and these people do exist. But by contrast, if you think of a Black American person, you're going to think of someone who has a deeper complexion. You're not going to think of a light skinned Black person. And so that's just a surface level comparison where you can clearly see that it's not the same. But yeah, those are my thoughts, and that concludes how I feel about that misconception.
Nice, nice. You shared some good insights, Dulcie. I always love how Dulcie brings the receipts. So, okay. Um, I have also noticed how, light skinned Black women in Hollywood sometimes feel guilty for the accomplishments they have worked hard to obtain. And I think it's problematic. I feel as though Hollywood should have representations of all skin tones and stop trying to label Black women of all shades into a box and stereotype us. They stereotype Black love representation of just a light skinned woman with a dark skinned man. They try to put light skinned Black women in a box on who we are attracted to. And I have also noticed they will stereotype Black women who are dark skinned as angry and masculine. So, Dulcie, with that being said, how do you feel about the actress video that we just watched, who suggested that light skinned Black people shouldn't discuss colorism experiences.
Yeah, again, I just think it's really ironic. I feel like she's talking with her foot in her mouth. And speaking of movies about like romance and like couples and things like that, not too long ago, I was trying to find some like really good romance movies, and I noticed that there's very little light-skinned Black female representation in a lot of these romance movies. And it's not that I'm like was actually looking for it, but it's just something that I noticed that you see, dark-skinned Black women with dark-skinned Black men, and that's not perfect either because there's like struggle of things going on with that. And then you have Black men with mixed women or Black men with non-Black women. And so it's very hard to see that kind of representation. So I think it's very ironic that here we are seeing a um, a mixed female actress basically yelling at us saying that we should not talk about colorism. And again, I believe it's very divisive. It shows me that she doesn't understand skin tone discrimination or color discrimination, even at a legal level, or understand the civil rights that we all have, at least in America. She brings up things like light skin tears are a weapon, and basically is trying to invalidate our experiences and tell us, no, the F you didn't experience this. And I view that as direct oppression because we are protected against color discrimination in both the workplace and at the schoolhouse. So the Department of Education and the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission enforce those Title VII civil rights and the ADA to protect us from discrimination of all sorts, including color discrimination. So, in order for us to exercise that right, we have to be able to confidently and clearly identify when we are being subjected to color discrimination. But if we are constantly being met with this level of aggression, I view that as oppression, and I view her video and these talking points as very anti-Black because we are Black people and we fought so hard for civil rights. So how dare she, as a mixed woman, and honestly, no one should be doing this, but especially as a mixed woman, how dare you tell us monoracial Black women that we should not be exercising our right to be protected against color discrimination? But yeah, that's what I think about what she said.
Yeah, yeah, that's real good. Some good points again, especially with the um legalism of the protections of our skin tones that you mentioned. I also someone said monoracial lights Black people are not. Yeah, exactly. So speaking of that, like Dulce said, you know, we never are represented when it comes to dating outside the race. They always stereotype us as if we're like just this, we're anti ourselves, and we only want to date dark skinned Black men. Now, some historical facts about this is there was a movie by a by Mildred Love, and she was a Black woman that was light skinned that was married to a white man. She and her husband faced a lot of discrimination, and they were the actual first couple, a monoracial light skinned Black woman that was able to legalize interracial marriage for all. So, um, but that's like another video. But you know how people like to try to put monoracial light skinned Black people in a box. But we were actually one of the first types of phenotypes to legalize interracial dating. So it's crucial, just to move on, it's crucial for all shades, of Black individuals to address colorism and all voices be heard and represented in the media. So, dismissing light skinned Black women's colorism experiences and labeling Black women as a whole based off skin tones, dating preferences, and personalities are problematic. We can all agree that we want to be treated as equal. No one should be put down to uplift the next one. No one should be prejudged without getting to know them. Black women are unique, like many things. I myself, as a monoracial, light skinned Black woman, I love all kinds of music. I date interracially, and I like learning about new cultures and hate being placed in a box of who I am as a Black woman. So, I would like to say this. What are some ways, Dulce, that you believe we can actually combat these harmful narratives within the Black community?
Yeah, I think conversations like this is a really great first step. And knowing like our history, I noticed that, both of us, we shared some important facts about what light-skinned Black people have done for the advancement of our race and our community as it pertains to our rights in this country. And I think that tapping into that knowledge, into that history, is a good first step towards breaking down the harmful rhetoric surrounding colorism and how we do or don't experience it in particular. Uh, but also stop yelling and arguing. I see if I could talk to that woman, I would tell her to you need to stop yelling and arguing. I've also seen a lot of content creators trying to deplatform people as well. And I think it's urgent to get out of that destructive energy and back into the creative energy,
Mm.
right? Now, she did make one good point, but she was yelling, so people probably aren't going to catch it. But she said, if someone shares something with you, basically, like if a dark skinned Black woman is saying that she has experienced colorism, I agree. It's important to be empathetic while not making it about yourself. I agree with that. But we can't do that if we don't have the skills of emotional intelligence and communication and self compassion. So we really need to start focusing in on ourselves and building up those skills, learning our rights, and becoming an activist for ourselves first. And we need self compassion skills so that we can identify when someone is trying to invalidate us, when someone is using excessive aggression, excessive force, and they're chipping away at your ability to be kind to yourself, or they are speaking from an internalized trauma perspective and not an objective neutral perspective or level-headed perspective. So my opinion is that the best way to combat harmful narratives is to lead by example and create positive, helpful, informative narratives.
I love that. So powerful. Yes, yes. Love it, love it. So, lastly, I will discuss how we can promote unity and understanding among Black individuals of different skin tones. I feel as though we need to learn more about the history of colorism and the culture of Africans. A good book that actually helps bring unity to both skin tones when it comes to colorism is The Color Complex. The Color Complex, The Politics of Skin Color Among African Americans by Kathy Russell Cole, Midge Wilson, and Ronald E. Hall. They take a holistic approach to colorism where you can hear both from the dark skin experience and the light skin Black experience. And this book was written by both a dark skin and Black woman about colorism. And they also do mention that the modern day colorism is the light skin um, black, black colorism. But you would just have to read the book like I did to really deeply understand it. Also, colorism can be intensified from by different locations. They said that lighter skinned black people like myself who grew up in the South tend to experience more colorism. So it's a very, very interesting book and research that these ladies did to tackle colorism in a more holistic approach. We also need to start challenging our own biases. So it's important to be aware of them and actively work to challenge them. Celebrate diversity, appreciate and celebrate the beauty and richness of Blackness and all of its shades. I've tried to find content creators that I can relate to on all levels. So I have like white content creators, black, light skinned ones, dark skinned ones, biracial ones. I try to celebrate diversity and like minded, positive people. Another thing, speak up against colorism when it impacts both skin tones. When we see or hear colorist remarks, we need to speak up and challenge them. Support Black owned business. This helps to create economic empowerment within the community. Amplify Black voices like Dulcie and I, and share the stories of Black people from all backgrounds. Me and Dulce actually have some interesting backgrounds of how we grew up. Like, I grew up middle class my whole life, but I also had a big part of the Black experience by going to predominantly Black schools. But I grew up around mostly white people, white neighbors. So I have an interesting background. I also believe in advocating for policies, like political policies that address racial inequality, like access to education, healthcare, taxes, and housing. Stop depending on just the Democratic Party, and learn to be politically moderate. If you look at immigrants that come in this country, whether they're Hispanic, Mexican, they do not all vote in one party. They make sure that their voices get
So
heard.
true.
And I would like to
Hmm.
conclude that this is me and Dulce's reaction video and commentary to the issue of colorism. It was definitely a pleasure doing this with Dulce. I actually
Yeah.
met Dulce. Yes, and I met Dulcie through Facebook. Well, actually, I found her content on YouTube, and then we met as Facebook friends, and then I didn't even realize it was her, and we connected like divine. It was like divine connection, like
Hmm.
God us to connect. I look forward to collaborating with her more in the future. Be blessed. Stay tuned for more Shades of Resilience and Dulce K contents on our channel. Also, me and Dulce left some Cash App symbols here at the bottom.
Yes.
Um, I consider myself a prophet, a minister. I consider Dulce a prophet and minister. When people look at ministry, they sometimes look at it um at the traditional sense of you're going to church listening to a pastor. But ministry is something that you're passionate about that brings about healing and change and impact in the lives of
Mm.
many people. And so when you bless the prophet, the minister, you in return get blessings tenfold. So if God leaves something special in your heart to sow a seed to us, by all means do it. We're going to use our seeds to continue to grow or get equipment or different things we may need to help amplify the voices for you and ourselves so
Mhm.
that we can be heard and grow as a community. So we love you guys. And bye for now. And thank you again, Dulcie. You're
Yeah,
amazing. Thank
absolutely. Yeah, I do have a little announcement. Just want to let you guys know we do invest quite a lot of time and energy into this, and that's one thing that I like about Shades of Resilience is that we have a lot of similarities, but we also have differences. But our strong similarity is that we both want to make sure that when we're talking about things like colorism and our experience as light-skinned Black women, that we're actually uplifting the community. So stay tuned. Keep an eye out because I just finished creating a self-love and self-compassion journal for light-skinned Black women. And
Woohoo!
I think that's something that I'm gonna be focusing on. Thank you. Focusing on my channel is more about how to uplift ourselves. So if that's something that you're interested in, please just go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you'll be notified as soon as it comes out. It should come out like either late tonight or tomorrow. But definitely, uplift, the people in your community and the people in this space who are feeding you, good content where you're consuming healthy content. So yeah, that's my little announcement and just a message that I wanted to share. But thank you so much, Shades of Resilience. This was so fun. And thank you everyone who joined. Maybe when we do this again next time, we'll probably have people like that can like share a comment or whatever. But right now, we're kind of focused on protecting the space and establishing a good foundation. So thank you so much for all your support, and I hope you have a great night.
Yeah, and before we end, can we thank all the content creators who came in here, like Multi,
Yes.
Exoticals United, Golden Goddess, Brew Lee. Who else? Am I missing anyone? We got Multi, who's a content creator. Um, Free. She's one of my subscribers. I think she's subscribed to like all of the exoticals, but that person, they're so dope. I love them. They're very supportive of our niche. And I appreciate all the love that you guys have done for us, especially Exotical. She's like the goat, the leader of this movement. So I truly am grateful for all of you guys' support, for watching alive, because we're really passionate about this topic. Like, of course we all want to be like, who doesn't want to be a big like content creator, but overall me and Dulcie are really passionate about this. Before me and Dulcie were content creators, we were in advocacy group for light skinned people. So we really do care about this. This is not just like we're doing this to try to gain fame. Like, we're doing this for genuine reasons to better our community. I also have some merch out right now for shirts, and then I also will be promoting my book called Sources of Strength. I have a poem on there called Light Skin Tears. I might give you guys a sneak peek in the channel. So we'll see. Subscribe, keep up to date with me and Dulcie. We have some great content for you guys coming up. And it was such a pleasure. And we thank you guys. We love you. We love all of our subscribers. We love all of the exotical channels. And I just want us to continue to grow, get big, have our voices heard, get featured in a magazine. Like, a win for one exotical
Yes.
is a win
Speak it
for
into
all.
existence.
Yes. Amen. Like, I hope Exoticals United actually get featured in some type of blog since she has the biggest power right now. So I really hope that our movement will continue to grow and get heard and go stronger, because this is needed. This is needed. So I will be praying for all of you ladies. I wish every content creator nothing but love, success, and greatness, in your pursuit to helping our people. So I thank you guys. We love you guys. Good night. Take care. If we missed anyone, we're sorry. I just know the people who usually pop up on our feed. We just know those content creators. But if we did miss any other content creators, we love you guys too. All right. I
Love
think me and
you.
Dulce, we had a long night here. So we're done. But
Yes.
God bless you guys. Take care.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.